Hey people, hope you guys doing great. In today's video we will see, what if Naruto had Egyptian god card and got harem with 10 girls in Yu-Gi-Oh! Part 3. Huge shout out to Demon Zone 2571 for this story. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe and like the video. So let's start the story. The winter break is over and the second half of the year has begun in Duel Academy. Naruto along with his girlfriends and friends had returned to the island, and boy what a first month it was for the group. It first started when someone was defeating Obelisk Blue students and taking their cards. At first he wanted to find this duel giant and congratulate him on taking these Obelisk students of their high horse, but was called by Seto Kaiba himself to find the one responsible and have them stop their actions and have the cards returned. Of course, Naruto wanted to argue, but knew that his boss still wrote his paychecks, so he along with his friends and girlfriends decided to investigate this duel giant, and when what they discovered that the duel giant was Brian and Beauregard, and hopefully I spelled that right, two fellow RA yellow students who were picked on by Obelisk Blue students because of their stature, with Brian being short for his age and Beauregard being a large student. Judai challenged them and won, of course. All the stole cards were returned to their rightful owners, and Brian and Beauregard became friends with Naruto's gangs. Then came Sandwich Day, where everyone reached into a cart full of sandwiches, and whatever they pull is what they eat, and one of those sandwiches was the very soothed after golden egg sandwich. But someone has been taking them, and for someone to pick out a single sandwich out of a cart full of them must have had extremely good luck, like Naruto, who always pulled the ramen sandwich. So Naruto along with Judai, Cyrus, Chumli, Alexis, and Rose had a stakeout to find the culprit, who turned to be an Obelisk Blue who went by the name of Damien, who from what Dorothy had said has never won a single duel due to his terrible draws. So he decided to live in the wild to train and became a Tarzan-like individual who learned to predict his draws. But even with that he still lost to Judai, who challenged him and won. Then the week came where Naruto had officially allowed his anger to leak out and had actually tried to kill someone. You see, he got a message from Yugi saying that his deck was going on tour and Duel Academy was the first stop, and he had sent him 10 VIP tickets to see the deck before anyone else. So he had invited himself, Judai, Alexis, Cyrus, Chumli, Mindy, Jasmine, Zane, which surprised everyone, mostly Cyrus, Bastion, and finally Ms. Fontaine, who just invited herself, but no one seemed to mind. Then he heard from Bastion of the infamous copycat duelist RA yellow student who went by the name of Dimitri, who lost to another duelist for the last ticket to see Yugi's deck. Naruto had nothing to worry about since his decks were one of a kind, so it was impossible for this copycat to mimic him. Then on the night before to the opening of the exhibit, the deck was reported stolen by Dr. Growler, which angered Naruto because this was his god brother's deck, and if someone had the gall to steal it there will be hell to pay, and it will be paid in blood. It took Naruto and his group 30 minutes to find the culprit, which turned out to be Dimitri, who stole the deck and began impersonating Naruto's god brother, which set the blonde off in a very bad way. How bad, you may ask? It took Judai, Alexis, Cyrus, Chumli, Zane, and everyone that was there to hold him back from killing Dimitri, who was cowering behind a large rock. Naruto calmed down enough to where he challenged the RA student to a duel, and let's just say Dimitri never copied anyone again, and now avoids the blonde like the plague and is now going to therapy, both physical and mental. Even his duel spirits avoided for the entire week. He was pissed off. Hell, even his girlfriends knew to keep their distance, as not to anger their boyfriend even further. Then he met a new Obelisk student named Blair Flanagan, who Alexis introduced him to, and the two hit it off very well. Blair was told of their situation, and she accepted the terms of going out with him, only if she dueled one of them to prove that she was worthy of being with the blonde. Blair had dueled Judai and almost won, but with Judai being a seasoned duelist easily defeated her. But after the duel was done, Alexis and Judai agreed to allow her into the fold, but had to inform Serenity of their decision so that she wasn't out of the loop. So, after a quick call to the alpha female of the growing harem and a quick recommendation from said alpha about adding a certain Egyptian former tomb keeper by the name of Ishizu Ishtar. Before he could retort, she had already spoke with Ishizu during their time together at Pegasus Castle and again a few times over the phone and Skype, and informed her of the harem and gave her the option to join, and had gladly accepted to join as long as she got her Naruto time whenever she came to visit, or vice versa. A week after Blair's welcome to Duel Academy and her introduction into Naruto's growing harem. It was a typical day at school and a new shipment of supplies had arrived to the academy, and Dorothy was in charge of the handling of the new supplies. Haha, here goes. Alright, let's go, said Dorothy, ready to supervise the shipment. Just leave that over there. Over there, she ordered. While this was going on, something was going on in the water below. Dorothy, believing she heard something, looked over the side and saw nothing and merely shrugged it off. Hey, don't stop moving! Keep going! Keep going! Hurry it up! She ordered. In the distance near the lighthouse, a human-shaped shadow moved through the water undetected. When a wave crashed onto the rocks, a human crawled onto the rock. Then he removed his snorkel mask, revealing a man with brown eyes, light brown hair tied in a ponytail with a few stray hairs. The man has a long pointed chin with stubs. It was a cinch for me to sneak in. The Duel Academy. I, Gerard, will discover its secret, he said as he looked at the academy while still in his diving suit. Duel Academy, Council Room. Why is that? Demanded Growler. For our goodwill duel with North Duel Academy, our top student Zane Trustdale must be chosen as our representative, just as he was last year, Growler said, pointing to Zane, who was standing alongside Chancellor Shepard. That would make sense, if the other representative wasn't a first-year student, that is, Shepard informed the council. A first year? Growler yelled. To that end, it would be best if our representative was also a first-year student, wouldn't it? What do you think, Zane? Asked Shepard. I have no problem with that, Zane said, not minding that a first-year student was to be this year's representative for the school duel. Well then, the question now is who should be our new representative? Shepard said, but was cut off by Zane. Naruto Pegasus, Zane suggested, getting everyone's attention. Naruto Pegasus? Thought Growler. It looks like this would be a tough choice, right, Pharaoh? Banner asked his cat. Naruto Pegasus? The sole heir to Maximilian's industrial illusions. Does he mean it? Asked Ms. Fontaine. I believe he'll give us an interesting duel, especially since he holds the 3 most powerful cards in all of Duel Monsters, Zane said, reminding everyone in the room that Naruto is in possession of the Egyptian god cards. I have no doubt about his skills as a duelist. His win-loss ratio speaks for itself, said Shepard as he agreed with Zane's choice as the representative. This cannot be. To think that brat will become our representative. There must be someone who can oppose him. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Seethed Growler, not wanting the boy who humiliated him to represent him. It was no secret that Growler despised Naruto, but after the conversation he had with Chancellor Shepard, he could no longer be open about his hatred for the heir of Pegasus, especially now that Seto Kaiba had his sights on the academy as a whole to ensure that nothing goes wrong. As he thought of someone who'd be a better representative, a thought came to him. In that case, I nominate Bastion Misawa, announced Growler. From the same dorm as Zane's pick? Asked Shepard. How about we have the 2 of them duel, with the winner becoming our representative? Asked Growler as he jumped over the table and walked over to Shepard. Shepard narrowed his eyes at Growler, but the professor's idea did make sense, so he turned to Zane. What do you think, Zane? He asked. Elsewhere. As the meeting was going on, Gerard had snuck into the academy and was now in the locker room looking for a disguise, so that he might blend in better. So he opened a random locker and pulled out a Slifer red blazer. Great, this is it, he whispered. In class? Me? Naruto asked with a confused look about him. The same could be said for Judai and Blair, who had no idea what was going on, but Alexis smiled knowing that Naruto was selected to be this year's representative to the school duel if he won against Bastion. That's correct, Naruto-san. You'll be dueling Bastion, and whoever wins can enter the duel against the North Duel Academy, Banner said as class started. This made Naruto turn to see his opponent, and sent Bastion a smirk that promised a match to remember, and Bastion did the same. I hope you'll give us a good duel, Banner said to his students. When class was over, His friends approached him. It's awesome that you can be the Academy's representative, said Cyrus, completely excited that his friend could be dueling for the school. I knew my Naruto-kun was mean for great things, Judai said as she hugged his left arm. Blair and Alexis agreed, but as they didn't want to be shown up by their harem sister, Alexis latched onto his right arm and Blair was comfortable sitting on his lap. Naruto was trying very hard not to get a major boner from this, but noticed that his opponent had made his way to Naruto's group. Naruto turned to Bastion. Our chance to battle it out has come pretty soon, huh? He asked. Yeah. I've been doing research since then. I must say that out of everyone on Duel Academy, you're a difficult opponent to duel if unprepared, Bastion said. Oh, so have you formulated the perfect strategy to defeat my 6 samurai deck or the new deck my father sent me to beta test? Asked the blonde. This made Bastion a bit nervous because both decks from what he's seen are powerful in their own right. One swarms the field, leaving the opponent with nothing to do, but hope she drew something that could help, and what's worse is that Naruto's 6 samurai deck housed the 3 god cards which by themselves were powerful, but if he ever managed to summon all 3, let's just say he'd rather forfeit than face the onslaught of those monsters. Then there was the new deck, which from what he saw focuses on synchro plays, but the new deck felt like it had more than just what he saw during Naruto's duel with Judai. The deck had the potential to be literally the most dangerous deck in Duel Academy. And no, but I'll have something done in time for our duel. You can count on it, Bastion said as he left to get started on formulating the winning strategy for either deck, and hope that strategy he creates is for the right deck, because if employed the strategy, and it was for the wrong deck, then he would be in serious trouble. I'm looking forward to it, Bastion-san, Naruto said as he managed to remove his arms for Judai's and Alexis's grasp, but not before copping a feel. Then he picked up Blair by her waist, and picked up only to gently put her on his desk, which allowed him to walk up to Bastion. Naruto then extended his hand, which Bastion did the same, and they shook. May the best man win, the blonde said with a smirk. Same here, Bastion responded. The two released their grip on their handshake and Bastion left the classroom eager to make the deck capable enough to tackle Naruto's own deck, whichever he may end up choosing. Naruto was then joined by his friends and girlfriends. Whatever he comes up with, it'll push your deck to the absolute limits, Cyrus said. Well, whatever the case, I think this'll turn out to be an awesome duel, said Chumley, getting a nod from the girls. Yeah, and knowing my Koifu, he'll expect a victory. Well, I'd better hurry up and work on my decks and see which one wants to see some action, Naruto said as he knew Kaiba would want the strongest duelist to represent his school in any occasion. Naruto left the room with his group following suit. Gerard was walking down one of the many corridors of the academy looking for whatever he was here for. Along the way, he saw a pair of obelisk students and approached them, which was a bad idea, especially if you're wearing red. Listen, I've got something I want to ask you, he asked, but was interrupted by the obelisk students. Huh! I hear the voice of a Slifer Red, said one of the students, who pushed him aside, allowing both he and his friend to walk past Gerard. What's the deal? The confused journalist asked. Naruto and his group were currently heading to the RA dorm, but saw Gerard talking to a RA yellow student. Listen, I've got. Shut it. I'm busy, the RA student said as he pushed Gerard out of the way, before walking off. This action made Naruto growl because he'd hoped that some of the RA yellow student would be more humble than the obelisk students, but that was wishful thinking on his part. Hey. Why? Why is everyone turning their back on me? The distraught journalist asked. That guy looks a bit too old to be a student, Cyrus said, but Naruto broke away from the group with Judai following suit. Huh? Naruto Aniki, Judai Aniki? Asked the young brunette. Hey you, Naruto said, getting the older brunette's attention. Gerard turned to the couple and laughed nervously at the two. Naruto glared at him, but Judai stared at the man, but then smiled. I get it. You've been held back a few years, huh, old man? Asked Judai. This made everyone, including Gerard, to sweat drop as to wonder how Judai came up with that conclusion. Old man? Gerard asked. It's cool. It's cool. I get it. Keep trying hard, and you'll eventually get promoted. Don't give up. Judai said as she patted Gerard on the shoulder, then shook his hand. Naruto still kept his gaze on the man, not trusting him, but the man looked awfully familiar. Alexis and Blair then joined the couple, which got Gerard's attention. The man backed away a bit. Cyrus, be sure to get him back to the Slifer dorm. We'll be there to help Naruto-kun strategize for his duel against Bastion, Judai said as she then grabbed Naruto's arm and dragged him back to their shared dorm room. Hey, wait. Hold on, said Gerard as the man and 3 women left, leaving Gerard with the 2 Slifer students. Evening Slifer dorm. Naruto along with Judai and Blair had arrived to the Slifer dorm. Alexis couldn't go for personal reasons. Naruto was sitting on the floor with 2 deck boxes in front of him, wondering which to use in the upcoming duel against Bastion for the title of school representative. From everyone's sane Judai's perspective, Naruto was just staring at his decks, but Judai could see that Naruto was talking to the dual spirits that inhabit the deck, mainly the boss monsters. Master, it's no trouble if you decide to use the 6 samurais. We aren't ready to show ourselves to the world. Besides, you've yet to summon Obelisk-sama in front of the whole school, said Shooting Star Dragon, making a valid point that out of 3 Egyptian god cards he possessed, he had summoned Slifer and Ra during a school duel, while he summoned Obelisk in his duel against Titan, who had kidnapped Alexis. I know, but I don't want you guys to feel that I'm abandoning you, Naruto thought. But you're not abandoning us, Master, more like keeping us a secret, until the time is right for the Synchro Dragons to rise, the White Dragon said, getting a nod from the other boss monsters. And beside, you still haven't earned his trust yet, the Dragon's Synchro Monster said, now getting the others' attention. His? Asked Ra. You see, I'm only a representative for the true boss monster of the deck, and he refuses to show himself to someone who has yet to show him the soul of the duelist. And Master Naruto has yet to fully unleash his full potential, Shooting Star said, now with everyone's attention on him. Soul of the duelist, I've only ever seen that in the Pharaoh and in his reincarnation, said Slifer. The same could be said about Seto Kaiba and his ancestor, added Obelisk. Clearing his throat, Shuren got the other boss monster attention. As interesting as this all sounds, I believe we're getting off track, he said. Right. Anyways, Master, use the 6 samurais, and when we feel that the time is right, we'll call you to use us, Shooting Star said before he faded back into the deck. Alright then, so it's decided, Naruto said as he grabbed one of the deck boxes and clipped it to his belt and picked up the remaining deck. I'm going with the 6 samurais. No doubt Bastion is planning something to overcome the deck, but we'll beat him, Naruto said. That's good, Naruto-kun. Always go with the winning team, said an excited Judai. So, I get to see the legendary 6 samurai deck in action. Can't wait, said an equally excited Blair. All the while this was going on, Gerard stared at the group, wondering why was everyone so excited. Old man-san, Naruto is going to use the 6 samurais in the duel tomorrow. Aren't you excited? Asked a hyped Judai. Gerard shrugged. I don't even know what those are. They're an archetype of fierce warrior-type monsters with powerful and mysterious abilities, some of which can turn the tide of any duel. But the deck itself is the only one of its kind, Blair said, getting the man's attention. Only one of its kind? He asked. Yep, his father created the deck solely for him, added Cyrus. Wow, kid, your dad must know the right people for that to happen, said Gerard. Yeah, and he even sent me a deck to test run for the new game mechanic he wishes to add to the dueling world, Naruto said as he got to work on his deck. But I wonder what kind of deck Bastion will use? Asked Cyrus. It's him we're talking about. I'm sure he's probably kept researching Naruto's deck despite what little information there is on the deck itself, said Chumley. Naruto-kun will win, Judai said with confidence. Judai-chan, I understand that Naruto-kun hasn't lost a duel yet, but this Bastion guy sounds like he'll be tough competition, said Blair, concerned, but was reassured by Judai, who put a hand on her shoulders. Believe me when I say, Naruto-kun will win, Judai said. As this was going on, no one noticed that Gerard had snuck out of the room. Abandoned dorm, night. Alexis was standing in front of the dorm with a single rose in her hand. She then laid the rose near the Do Not Enter sign. Be at peace, Nissen, wherever you are. Take care, she said. Then she heard rustling coming from the bushes not too far from her location. She turns and sees Gerard coming up behind her. "Why, hello there," he said as he casually walked up to her with his hands in his pockets. "Hey, you're that guy from earlier," she said. "Yeah, look, I've heard some students have gone missing here. You wouldn't happen to know anything about any of them, would ya?" Gerard asked, putting Alexis on edge. "What's it to you, Ponytail?" she asked, wanting to change the subject since said subject hit close to home, i.e. her missing brother. "You know, I'm just curious is all," he said. "Yeah, well, you can stay curious. Those missing students aren't for your amusement, so you should mind your own business, and besides, Seto Kaiba sent someone to investigate that already, so you being here is not needed," she said as she left. She didn't see Gerard flinch at the name Seto Kaiba. "Damn that guy, he doesn't even have to be here to piss me off," thought Gerard as he seethed at the mere mention of Seto's name. Gerard then pulled out a camera. "Whoever he sent won't stop me from getting the scoop of the century," he said as he took pictures of the abandoned dorm. Our yellow dorm, Bastion's room. Bastion was sitting at his desk doing research on how to beat Naruto's deck in tomorrow's match. Countless equations, a myriad of theorems, yet still I haven't quite solved the problem that is Naruto's deck, he said, looking through the records of Naruto's various matches. Ah, legendary 6 Samurai Shuriken, quite the specimen indeed. With his special ability he can negate the activation of any spell or trap card during either player's turn. And the fact he needs Kagemusha, a tuner monster, and any level 3 monster to be synchro summoned, a new summoning mechanic with no way to stop as of now, he said, looking over said monster's stats. Then Bastion pulled up the stats of the 3 Egyptian god cards. He shivered at the thought of having to face off against them if I somehow managed to destroy his samurai. Those god cards of his are something to fear. Slifer, the sky dragon's attack and defense is determined by the number of cards in the hand. So to defeat this monster I need to keep Naruto's hand small, but even with that drawback its second mouth ability proves to be very dangerous for any monster with less than 2,000 attack points. Then there is Obelisk the Tormentor with the ability to have infinite attack by tributing 2 monsters. So far he's the only one I can manage so long as I have a monster in defense mode. No matter how strong a monster is, a monster in defense mode if destroyed won't do damage unless the attacking monster can deal piercing damage. And finally the strongest of the 3, the winged dragon of RA, when summoned by tributing 3 monsters. The ATK and def of RA become the combined ATK and def of the tribute monsters. RA also has several additional powers. Can pay a number of life points to increase the ATK and def of RA by the same amount, and by tributing monsters the player controls to further increase its ATK and def points. The other effect of RA is to turn into a phoenix by paying 1,000 life points. This phoenix mode gave RA immunity to destruction and the ability to instantly destroy everything on the opponent's side of the field. Phoenix mode only lasts until the end of the turn it is activated in, and the fact that he knows the chant to summon this beast is even more nerve-wracking. So all in all, that primary deck of his is dangerous. Very dangerous, he said in a worried tone. I could assemble a deck that can slow down his ability to summon any of his boss monsters, but his deck is too fast for me to get anything out on the field and his strategies are unorthodox and unpredictable at best. So trying to build a deck around that would be a miracle, and a miracle is something that can't happen overnight. Sigh. If my opponent were Judai, then stopping her fusion summonings would have been the solution, but synchro summoning requires no spell cards, but maybe I can stop the monsters from coming together, but then that leaves the god cards which are immune to all card effects. So either way I'm screwed, Bastion said as he began constructing his deck for tomorrow, hoping that it will be just what he needs for his match. Next day, Duel Academy Arena. It's time, duelists, to find out who will represent our most illustrious academy in the annual school duel, announced Growler. This made everyone cheer because now everyone had the chance to see which of the 2 strongest first-year RA Yellow students would be had what it takes to be the school's representative for the annual school duel. Introducing first from the RA dorm, Bastion Misawa, announced Growler, which got cheers. And his opponent from the same dorm is none other than Naruto Pegasus, he said, which got an even louder cheer, especially from the group of girls that were always with him. Hell, even Judai and Blair were wearing t-shirts that said Go Naruto Go, and if that wasn't surprising, Alexis was wearing an orange bandana on her forehead with a Pegasus in the center. Yup, definitely a surprise to everyone sane. Her harem sisters, Cyrus, Chumli and Zane. Arena floor. Here we go, Bastion, two of our Yellow's top duelists going against each other. Talk about Clash of the Titans, Naruto said, eager to get the duel started. I appreciate the sentiment, Naruto-san. Out of all the duelists on Duel Academy, you were the one I wanted to duel. However, with the deck I've prepared, I should be more than a match even for you, Bastion said, fully confident of his deck to go up against Naruto's ace. Stands. Go Naruto-kun! Yelled Judai and Blair. This caused everyone to either sweat drop or scoot away from them, because both Judai and Blair have earned a nasty reputation of attacking anyone who dared insult their boyfriend, with Alexis stopping them so they wouldn't get expelled and face assault charges. Go Naruto Aniki, we believe in you! Yelled Cyrus with Chumley, and the girls agree with the brunette. Dr. Banner and Chancellor Shepard was sitting a few rows away from Naruto's friends as he pet Pharaoh. Zane approached the group and sat down next to his friend Alexis. It'll be instincts versus intelligence here, he said, getting everyone's attention. I guess, but knowing Naruto-kun, he'll be as unpredictable as ever, which will catch Bastion by surprise and ruin anything he has planned, said Alexis, while her gaze was focused on her boyfriend. Huh? Alexis? He said, turning to his friend, and was a bit surprised to see her wearing a Go Naruto Go t-shirt. Now Zane Trustdale was a lot of things: serious, calm, cool, and collective, just to name a few. But being someone who would laugh at seeing the ridiculous shirt on the three-girl almost made he break his serious facade. So, on the outside he was a bit shocked, but on the inside he was laughing like the Joker on weed and having a good high. Outside the arena, with everyone distracted by the duel, Gerard made a run for his destination. All right, while everyone distracted with this duel, I'll be able to get more dirt on those missing kids, he said to himself as he snuck into the library and accessed one of the school computers to learn more on the abandoned dorm and the missing students. However, what he doesn't know is that those files are closely monitored by Naruto's own PC for any suspicious activity, so whoever accessed those files, not only will the location of the access be pinged, but a picture will be taken of the one who accessed said files and will be sent directly to Seto Kaiba himself. Also, if one were to use a flash drive to copy said files, then not only will they download a virus, but also a tracking program. So, in a nutshell, Gerard and whoever wanted those files were most likely going to get in serious trouble with both Seto Kaiba and the local law enforcement. And I never liked this guy, so adios, loser. Arena. Now, without any further ado, let the duel begin, announced Dr. Growler. We'll see about that, Bastion, and as my girlfriend said, it's time to get my game on, he said as he activated his duel disc. Let's duel! They yelled in unison, with Bastion following Naruto's example and activating his duel disc. Naruto, 4000. Bastion, 4000. Alright, first, I summoned Carbonettin, Earth attribute, LVL3, Dinosaur/effect. If this card battles a fire monster, during damage calculation, this card gains 1000 ATK, during damage calculation only. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon, from your hand or deck, one level 7 or lower dragon-type normal monster in face-up defense position. You can only use this effect of Carbonettin once per turn. ATK 800/def 600, in defense mode, and with that I end my turn, Bastion said. Impressive, but hardly a threat. No offense to you, Bastion, but did you really think I would attack that monster with a fire attribute monster, when most of my monsters are earth attribute? Naruto said, making Bastion realize his first mistake. The only first monster in Naruto's deck was Mizuho, and he rarely ever summoned her on the first turn, but he can still salvage this, he hoped. I'll start off by activating the Field Spell Temple of the 6 spell card, Field. Each time a 6 samurai monster's normal or special summoned, place 1 Bushido counter on this card. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 ATK for each Bushido counter on this card, he said as a temple appeared. Now I active 2 spell cards that I'm sure you're familiar with, Gateway of the 6 and 6 Samurai united. From that I summoned Kagemusha of the 6 Samurai to the field in attack mode, Naruto said as he summoned his tuner monster. Your monster is good, but it still doesn't pose a threat. Bastion started, but was cut off by Naruto, who said I was done. Now I play asceticism of the 6 samurai. Now with this card I can search for a monster whose attack points are the same as the monster I have currently on the field, but its name must be different. So give a warm welcome to Elder of the 6 Samurai, Earth Attribute, LVL3, Warrior/Effect. If your opponent controls a monster, and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. ATK 400/Def0, he said as he summoned an aged old man in a cart with legs and armed with crossbows. Now since I have summoned 2 monsters with 6 samurai in their names, I send 6 samurai united to the graveyard, to draw 2 new cards, Naruto said as he sent the spell card to the grave and drew 2. Hey Bastion, you know what comes next? He asked his fellow RA student, who was gulping at the mere thought that he would be facing Naruto's signature monster. I tune my level 2 Kagemusha with my level 3 Elder and Synchro Summon, he said as the 2 monsters jumps in the air. Kagemusha turned to 2 green rings and surrounded Elder of the 6 Samurai. May your blade be true and your will be strong as your sword. Synchro Summon. A blast of light appeared before him. Appear before me, legendary 6 Samurai Shuren, 2500/1400. Naruto roared as the giant pillar of light disappeared and was replaced with a warrior clad in red samurai armor, and was carrying a serrated edged katana. Upon seeing this monster, much like the promotional duel, got everyone cheering to see such an iconic monster, and much the Yugi's dark magician and Kaiba's blue eyes white dragon, the legendary 6 Samurai Shuren was Naruto's ace monster. Now I activate Gateway of the 6 effect, and by removing 4 of its Bushido counters I can add any 6 samurai monster from either my hand or deck. Naruto informed as reached for his deck as searched out the monster he needed. Now I special summon Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai, 2100/800, in attack mode, and since I summoned 6 samurai monster to the field, my Gateway gains 2 Bushido counters bringing it up to 4, so you know what that means. Naruto said as he got his deck and searched for whatever monster he needed. Now I special summon legendary 6 Samurai Kazan, 1800/500, now 2100/800, in attack mode, and since there are 2 6 samurai monsters with different names on the field, his attack and defense points got up by 300. Naruto said as his newly summoned warrior's power went up. Now Bastion was screwed like up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and his canoe was on fire, and he was about to sail right off a waterfall screwed. Then he heard Naruto again, and it shocked him. Then I set 1 card face down, and end my turn, he said, shocking everyone. What? Asked Bastion. I want to give you a fair chance, so as Joey once said, come at me bro, said Naruto with a smirk. Even though Bastion was cornered, he wanted to give his opponent a fair shot in getting out of this death trap. Stands. Wait, why would Naruto give Bastion the chance to counterattack when he can FTK him right now? Asked Blair, who knew that Naruto was capable of ending a duel before things got out of hand. It's because Naruto respects Bastion as a duelist, and wants to see if Bastion is capable of handling a dire situation such as is that, or he wants to see if Bastion can think his way out the way I would. And that is by trusting your deck, Judai said, knowing that if it had been her Naruto was dueling, chances are that she would have given Naruto a fair challenge. Naruto is playing a dangerous game with that mindset, Zane added. I know, but Naruto has always been the most unpredictable duelist, so whatever Bastion throws at him, he'll counter it, Alexis said, getting nods from her harem sisters and her Slifer friends. Arena. Bastion was shocked that Naruto didn't FTK him, but as they say, don't look a gifted horse in the mouth, so with that he decided to buff up his defenses. I summon Oxygeddon, Attribute Wind, LVL4, Dinosaur/Effect. When this card is destroyed by battle with a Pyro-type monster and sent to the graveyard, inflict 800 damage to both players. ATK 1800/Def800, in defense mode, and I lay 1 card face down, and end my turn, he said, a bit disappointed in know that this was all he could do. Naruto sighed sadly at his fellow RA. Bastion was pushed so far back into a corner that he couldn't do anything but buff up his defenses, hoping to last till next turn. But Naruto knew that if given the chance, Bastion will counter. If he had prepared for his main deck, Bastion, you're a good duelist, and I respect you, but that won't save you. Because as cheesy as it sounds, I call final turn, Naruto said, getting everyone's attention. What? My turn, draw, Naruto said as he drew a card that started to glow an ominous blue. I activate my face-down double-edged sword technique, trap. Target 2 6 samurai monsters in your graveyard. Special summon those targets in face-up attack position. During the end phase of this turn, destroy them, and if you do, take damage equal to those destroyed monsters' ATK. With this I can target 2 6 samurai monsters in my graveyard and special summon them to my side of the field this turn. However, at the end of my turn, they're destroyed and I take damage equal to the combined attack points of both monsters. So come back, Kagemusha of the 6 Samurai and Elder of the 6 Samurai, he said as the two monster mentioned erupted from his graveyard. Stand? Quite the power play, said Cyrus amazed. Power play indeed, but a risky one at that, added Zane. True, but knowing Naruto-kun, he'll use them and with that, the side effect will be negated, said Judai as she knew that her boyfriend/lover won't let the opportunity to use his monster slip. Yes, but the question is what does he plan to use them for? Because he can synchro summon again, but I haven't seen him use any other synchro monster with his 6 samurais besides Shur and Alexis said. Maybe he'll sacrifice to summon a powerful monster, Blair answered the unanswered question. This made everyone realize something. Naruto had 5 monsters on the field, 2 of which if attacking directly can end the duel, so that left 3 unused. Then that was when they came to a startling conclusion. Naruto was going to summon an Egyptian god card. Deed on me. Arena. Bastion. During the promotional duel I summoned Slifer the Sky Dragon. During the exhibition match between myself and Judai versus the Paradox Brothers I unleashed the Winged Dragon of Ra. Now you will bear witness to the 3rd Egyptian god card. Naruto said as he held the card in the air, similar to how Yugi did during his duel against Bakura during the Battle City tournament. Now Bastion was afraid, because he'd hoped to avoid this. But now he'll feel the wrath of the 2nd strongest god monster of the 3. I sacrifice legendary 6 Samurai Kazan, Kagemusha of the 6 Samurai, and Elder of the 6 Samurai to summon the almighty Obelisk the Tormentor. Naruto said as all 3 monsters were pulled into the card. Then Naruto slapped the card onto his dual disc and the card came into view. Then the great beast emerged from the ground with his arms folded and looked down at Bastion, who was as of this point trembling with fear. Upon the creature's summoning, most of the Obelisk Blue cheered to see their mascot appear, although the monster glanced at them and gave a low growl. But Naruto knew what the great beast was saying. These pests cheer for me, but ridicule my sisters. How dare they? Don't worry, my friend. After this you won't be seeing them for a while, thought Naruto to his monster. Obelisk then looked at his summoner very well, but make this quick. Those stares make me want to obliterate them, and I'm pretty sure my sisters share the same courtesy, said Obelisk, not wanting to be here any longer than he has to. Fine then, Naruto muttered to himself, before setting his sights on his opponent. Forgive me, Bastion, but I'm ending this. Shuren, Grandmaster, attack his monsters, clear a path for the final blow, Naruto said as both his warrior monster rushed at the 2 defense position monster, thus destroying them. Bastion shielded himself from the impact, but he wasn't prepared for what was about to happen next. Obelisk, attack his life points directly with Fist of Fury, Naruto ordered. Obelisk's right fist then glowed a bright blue, right before he beeped his fist back, then he threw his punch at Bastion, who upon impact was sent flying of the arena and onto the floor. Naruto equals 4000. Bastion equals 4000 minus 4000 is equal to 0. Winner Naruto. When the monster holograms faded, Naruto then rushed over to his fallen student. Bastion was laying on the floor with a smirk on his face which confused him. Ha 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 ha, that was invigorating, shouted Bastion before getting up and composing himself. Sorry about that, but the adrenaline rush I got from that is still in full swing. But still, that was a great duel, and with this you're now the representative for the school duel, so I look forward to the match, he said as he held out his hand, which Naruto took. Sure thing, Bastion, also I can't wait for a rematch, he said as he let go of Bastion's hand. As do I. Next I'll have the formula to stop you, Deck, and when I do, be prepared to lose, Bastion said with confidence. I look forward to it, pal, Naruto said, but was then tackled to the ground by Judai and Blair, who were excited to see their man now as the Duel Academy rep. But even if he didn't win, they'll still love him all the same. Congrats on the duel. I knew I picked the right choice, said Zane, making everyone look at him. Wait, you picked me? Why though? Asked Naruto. It was only fair, since your opponent was going to be a first-year student, Zane said. Well, that would make sense, Alexis said. Before anything else could be said, they heard yelling and commotion, and when they peered to the entrance of the arena, they saw a handcuffed Gerard being hauled away by the dorm security, before those of Slifer Red could retort. The head of security approached the Chancellor, and informed him that the individual in custody was stealing information pertaining the abandoned dorm and were alerted by a web video of Gerard caught hacking the campus mainframe. The Chancellor, who was furious that the man was trying to tarnish the school's reputation, but also cause unrest to the families affected by the events that took place in that dorm. As the unfolded, Naruto then pulled out a mini laptop and noticed that his little present that he hid within those files had worked. Damn, Kaiba may be a stuck-up prick at times, but learning those computer skills that can rival Sito's was a good time well spent. Naruto then explained why Gerard was handcuffed, and boy did that piss off Alexis, since her brother was one of those missing kids, and Zane because Atticus was his best friend, so seeing that low life being hauled away to who knows where was satisfying to say the least. The school duel. A week has passed since Naruto's duel with Bastion for the title of Duel Academy representative for the upcoming school duel. The week was relatively quiet except for Naruto's friends and girlfriends butting into his prep time with them wanting him to use their cards, but Naruto said that those cards don't work in his decks because they would interfere with the synergy of the overall formula and how the decks worked. So, he decided to go to the roof of the academy to work in peace. But not even the roof was a safe place to work on his strategies because he had a run-in with Growler in some weird gay astronaut outfit, and some weird-looking kid that appeared to be a heavy stoner. The boy named Belowski is a laid-back, carefree, peace-loving boy who isn't afraid to take a nap at the most precarious of times, and upon dueling him, Naruto learned that the obelisk blue kid had the ability to communicate with duel monsters, a power similar to his own. Belowski then challenged Naruto to a duel, but Naruto decided to turn down the challenge. When asked why, Naruto simply answered by using his psychic abilities to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon and scared the two obelisk blue into accepting his answer, which of course they did, after they pissed their pants. During the week, Naruto had received a new dual disc from his godfather. The dual disc was sleek and slim with a black body with blue lines along it, and a seemingly blue gem of sorts in the center of it. The new dual disc was developed by Kaiba Corporation and creates solid vision holograms from the user's imagination through a neural link. They appear similar in design to the capsule shooter and appear as a hybrid of a KC mass production disc and a D-pad. The overall design mimics that of the KC mass production disc. The blade folds up on top of the body when not in use. Similar to the blade of a D-pad, it can produce a virtual blade similar to that of the D-pad. In addition, the dual disc operates with a headset similar to a dual gazer, though rather than possessing a glass lens, the device has been shown to project a series of holographic circles over the eye. It can use either a deck of virtual cards or a deck of physical cards. In Naruto's case, he preferred his own physical decks than a virtual deck, so Kaiba created several deck boxes with print scanners so that only Naruto could have access to his cards. The only downside, however, it clearly lacks a graveyard slot, so Naruto opted to use his deck box as the graveyard. When his friends got wind of the new dual disc, they wanted to give the disc a test run, but Naruto had told them that Kaiba ordered him not to use the dual disc until the day of the school duel. Duel Academy, RA Dueling Arena. As Naruto meditated with his cards, the spirits of each of his monsters appeared around him. The blonde smiled and looked at his monsters. I know we'll win the school duel. As Yugi said, trust in your cards and together we can achieve so much, so let's do this together, he said, causing all the monsters to cheer as if agreeing with their master/partner. Naruto-kun! /Naru-kun! /Narukoi! Some very familiar voices called out to him. Naruto then turned to see Judai, Alexis, and Blair running to his direction. Naruto-kun, you were over here? Everyone's all together already, Judai said, excited for the school duel. What do you mean, all together? Naruto asked. The reception. Reception. The reception for the representative from the North Campus, yelled Blair. Ah, no! I forgot. Naruto said in a panic, causing the monster spirits to chuckle at their partner's blunder. Naruto then gathered up his cards carefully not to mix them up, and stored them into their respected deck boxes, then joined up with his girlfriends. Alright then, let's go, he said, running past them. But was all Alexis could say, before Judai followed after him while laughing. Blair followed afterwards, leaving poor Alexis behind. Sigh, those three will be the death of me. But that's why I love them, she said to herself as she left to follow them. At the dock. A submarine was docked at the pier, and waiting for the North Campus arrivals was Chancellor Shepard and the faculty body and most of the student body. A ramp from the submarine emerged and connected to the pier. The first to exit the submarine was the Chancellor of the North Campus, Foster Ignos, and a combination of his English name and Japanese name. Ah, you've finally arrived, Chancellor Foster Shepard said as he shook Foster's hand, greeting him to Duel Academy. Thank you for taking care of our bad pupils for a while, Foster said. No, I should thank you, Shepard replied. By the way, Foster said, getting Shepard's attention. Is she doing well? Foster asked. Of course. She is a person without whom this interschool match could not be held, after all, Shepard said. Naruto finally arriving made himself known. Shepard Dano, that's enough greeting. I would like to see who my opponent would be, said Naruto as Judai and Blair finally caught up with Alexis bring up the rear. Listen, Naruto-kun, you're being rude, Shepard said, but was cut off by Foster. So, this must be the famous son of Maximilian J. Pegasus, Naruto C. Pegasus. I've heard a lot about you, boy, especially about that new deck your father gave you, the one with the new dueling mechanic. Synchro summoning, was it? Foster asked. Yeah, but after my time here in Duel Academy, I'll let my father know that synchro summoning was a huge success, and soon it'll revolutionize dueling for good, he said, knowing how well the world would take to the new dueling mechanic. Anyways, who's my opponent for the school duel? He asked. Naruto-kun, Alexis scolded. Gomi, I just want to hurry and see who I'm facing, Naruto said, which surprised everyone sane Shepard as he was made fully aware of Naruto's relationship with the three academy girls as well as several others via Maximilian Pegasus. It was nice to see that Alexis took on the role of harem sister rather well, even going as far as to scold not only her harem sisters, but their boyfriend when he or they did something wrong. Is that right? Foster asked. The person you'll be facing, Foster said, but was cut off by a very familiar voice. It's me. This caused everyone to look in the direction of the submarine. Was none other than Chaz Princeton, but gone was his usual obelisk blue uniform. Now his outfit consists of a slightly tattered black jacket with gray trimmings and sharp edges over a purple shirt, dark blue pants, and brown shoes. Whoa! Chaz? It is Chaz, a surprised Judai said. It's the Chaz, he said in his usual arrogant tone. Then, could it be that my dual opponent is Chaz? Naruto said. It's the Chaz, he corrected the blonde as the other North Campus students glared at the blonde, though Naruto wasn't the least bit intimidated, especially if you compared the horrors he's seen before coming to this world. Would be like comparing a swarm of angry killer bees to a swarm of angry kittens. Thunder, the students of North Academy said in unison. Listen, first year. We've heard of how you don't address Thunder-san with an honorific, Zar yelled. So how about we teach you a lesson? Asked a spiky-haired North Academy student. Oh my, nobody wants to tangle with the big boys. By all means, I'd like to see you try, Naruto said, as if actually challenging the student to come over to him and teach him a lesson. Naruto-kun, Alexis scolded, only this time she had come over to him and pulled his ear. OWWW. Alexis-chan, please stop, you're going to tear it off. Naruto whined. Maybe I should and teach you a lesson, Buster, Alexis scolded as everyone's sweat dropped in seeing one of Duel Academy's best student and duelist being manhandled, or in this case woman-handled, by his girlfriend. Chaz clears his throat, getting everyone's attention. Leave him be. He is mine, was all Chaz said. Alexis let go of Naruto's ear, just as a powerful gust of wind blew over the pier. Everyone hears the sound of helicopter blades and looks up. Huh! What the, was all Blair could say. Hey, look at that symbol, Foster said, pointing out that on the helicopter was the kanji, man, which meant 10,000. Oh, it's the Princeton Group Organization, those bastards, Naruto growled. Naru-kun, you know them? Judai asked. Yeah. Real scumbags, they've been trying and failing to buy Kaiba Corporation and Industrial Illusions from my godfather, and my father even going so far as to use underhanded tactic to get what they want. Luckily, as I said, they failed, Naruto said, showing just how much he hated them. That's right, yelled Jagger Princeton from his helicopter, and with him was older brother Slade Princeton. It's been a while, little brother. Have you been doing well? Slade asked Chaz. Slade. Jagger, what are you two doing here? Chaz asked. Isn't it obvious, little bro? To give your victory our blessing, said Jagger as their helicopter landed. Don't worry us too much, Chaz, said Slade as a camera crew on a platform came into view. Right, nice faces. We'll take a picture. Camera 2. Get a close-up of Chaz next, okay? Can I ask what the fuss is about? Shepard asked while Naruto and his girlfriends looked on in confusion as to what is going on. Huh? You haven't heard? This year, we'll be broadcasting the Duel Academia's inter-school match all across the country, live on TV, said one of the cameramen. What? A TV broadcast? Then does that mean Naru-kun will air it all across Japan? Yelled Judai in excitement as Naruto just stared, not saying a word, as he knew that his friends and family off campus are no doubt watching this. The cameras then zoned into the blonde kid and were surprised to see the famed child of Pegasus here on Duel Academy, and that he was Chaz's opponent for the school duel. Duel Academy, waiting room. After the fiasco at the dock, we find Chaz sitting in one of the waiting rooms speaking with his brother. Just what are you trying to do, Jagger? Slade? He asked his brothers. We've decided, didn't we? This TV broadcast is our first plan to make the promise between us siblings a reality. Also, it'll help to further our goal by humiliating the son of Pegasus and the godson of Seto Kaiba, Slade said. Plan? And what do you mean by humiliating the son of Pegasus and the godson of Seto Kaiba? Chaz asked. You see, Chaz, although never liked Naruto, but he respected the kid as a duelist, and having been influenced by some of the world's best duelists can and will carry into your overall style. That's right, Jagger said. Our dream is to make the world into the Princeton Empire. To that end, our goal today is to promote you and make you the star of the card world and to crush the name of Pegasus into the dirt. Chaz, Slade said. We heard from a Professor Growler you dropped out from here 3 months ago, didn't you? Jagger asked. WL, was all Chaz could say, before his brothers lashed out at him. Are you listening to me, Chaz? Jagger demanded. You were always the bum out of us siblings, Jagger berated Chaz. Since our Princeton Group Organization is sponsoring this TV broadcast, you simply cannot afford to lose, Slade added. Then Jagger lifted a briefcase. In here are loads of cards that our older brother and I have spent money to assemble. You'll use these and make yourself the ultimate deck and crush that Pegasus brat, Jagger said. Do you understand? Jagger asked as he placed the briefcase on the bench he was sitting on. You had better not do anything that'll disgrace the Princeton family name, Jagger added, before he and his brother left the room, leaving Chaz on his own. Meanwhile, Naruto, along with Judai, Alexis, and Blair, were making their way to the waiting while trying and failing to groom him up, as his hair practically defied the laws of physics because no amount of hairspray and brushing could straighten his spiky blonde hair. Man, had we known you were going to be on TV, we would have been able to do something about your hair, Naruto-kun, Alexis said as she held a hairbrush and comb. We might have even washed it, Blair added as she held bottles of shampoo and conditioner. Mao. Leave Naru-kun alone, he looks just fine, and beside this wouldn't be the first time he was on TV, or did you already forget about the exhibition match we had against the Paradox Brothers? Judai asked her harem sisters, who looked at her, and a look of realization appeared on Blair's and Alexis's faces. That may be true, Judai-chan, but Kaiba-san isn't the one sponsoring and broadcasting this duel, so Naruto-kun must look presentable, Alexis argued. Before any more could be said, Naruto finally spoke. Girls, it's fine, and beside I already showered and shaved this morning before I headed to the RA dueling arena, so I'm already well groomed, he said in a neutral tone. This caught their attention. Wait, shaved? Judai asked. Then she ran her hand across Naruto's face and felt stubs of cut facial hair. Oh my, you have facial hair, she said, now realizing that her boyfriend indeed has facial hair, surprising her harem sisters. It isn't that much of a surprise after all. I am 16 going on 17 in October, he said. Wait, your birthday is in October, so that means that last year we missed it, Alexis said, feeling terrible that she missed her boyfriend's 16th birthday. Now she and her sisters felt terrible. It's fine, and beside I love you three and the others, so what more could I ever ask for? Beside that, when we graduate from Duel Academy? He asked, hinting at what he meant. The three were shocked. Their boyfriend had hinted of asking for their hands in marriage when they graduated. Their hearts thumped so fast that they could feel their hearts pounding in their chests. They blushed for when he did propose to them, and how they would react. And Narakun. We would say yes, Judai said, whose face color imitated a tomato. If it means spending the rest of our lives with you, then yes, I would be happy to marry you, Alexis added, as her hair did well to hide her face. Does that mean we'll be wearing beautiful dresses and go on honeymoons? Blair asked, added for red to the girls' faces as they thought of their own romantic honeymoons, and what will happen on their honeymoon night. Now blood was running down their noses as they thought of making love with their boyfriend / soon-to-be fiancé. At this sight, Naruto chuckled. We can worry about the future later. For now, let's get ready for the school duel, he said as he walked to the waiting room. The three girls snapped out of their daydream and rushed over to Naruto. Waiting room. Inside the waiting room, Chaz was having a difficult time. Man up, Chaz, he said as he pounded at the mirror. Just as Naruto was about to enter, he stopped himself and quieted the girls so he could hear what was going on inside. Man up, Chaz yelled. Come on. Show them that Chaz Princeton isn't a slacker, that you're worthy of the Princeton name. He berated himself. That you can win. And that you can keep winning. Over and over, that you're the best. You've got to do your part, Chaz. You got to show them that you're supreme. It's your duty. It's the plan. As Chaz continued to berate himself, Naruto couldn't help but feel sorry for the former Obelisk Blue, as he knew more than anyone. He believed that should he fail, then it would bring the names of Pegasus and Kaiba down and be dragged across the mud, and their faith in him would be wavered and they'd be forced to cut all ties to him. But luckily for him, that wasn't the case, because win or lose, his friends and family would continue to love and support him. However, in Chaz's position, that wasn't the case. For him, failure would mean his family would turn their back on him, thus cutting all ties with him, leaving him behind to deal with the backlash on his own. Naruto then walked away and motioned for the girls to follow, thus leaving Chaz to his thoughts. Now go and win. Go and win. Go and win, he chanted to himself. Duel Arena. Everyone from both North Campus and Duel Academy were present at the Duel Arena. Along with the students and staff were the guests in the form of Slade and Jagger Princeton, who sponsored the duel, and the cameramen who were broadcasting the duel across the country. But at the last minute, Seto Kaiba decided to have the broadcast be worldwide. So now everyone around the world can see the school duel, and thus endorse Duel Academy as the place to go for upcoming duelists. Of course, this didn't sit well for the Princeton group, but since this institution was funded and owned by Seto Kaiba, they couldn't say no, so they let it go and saw it as an opportunity to further cement themselves as the soon-to-be ultimate power. The crowd was going nuts at the prospect of the duel. Dr. Growler was standing in the middle of the arena as the cameramen got their shoots of what will be the battleground between North Academy's representative and Duel Academy's representative, Chaz Princeton vs. Naruto Crawford Pegasus, and yes, Naruto's middle name is Pegasus's Japanese first name. That's it, student. Lots of energy. Remember, the whole world's watching this thing live. Now let's cheer these duelists on, the director said via megaphone. Go! Thunder-san! The North Academy students chanted. Same bet as usual. Right, Shepard? Foster asked. You do remember, he added. Absolutely. After all, old friend, It's what makes this all worthwhile. Shepard answered, causing the two academy chancellors laughed. On the duel floor, Naruto was checking his new dual disc to see if it fitted him properly. After giving it a final check, he was about to step into the arena, when he was stopped by Judai along with Alexis and Blair. He turned to them once. He was then interrupted when Judai kissed him on the lips. This shocked everyone and the cameraman got a shot of the couple kissing. Just when they thought it was over, when Judai broke from her kissing, Alexis captured his lips, shocking everyone, even Zane, who was absolutely speechless. Then, finally, Blair pulled Alexis from their boyfriend and took his lips. She broke away and giggled. "Good luck up there," she said as she joined her harem sisters, leaving a dazed Naruto alone. Meanwhile, Pegasus's castle. Just like when the exhibition match, Pegasus had invited Sito, Makuba, Yugi, T, Tristan, Joey, Bakura, Serenity, Mai, Aizashu, Merrick, and Odian to watch the school duel. Also invited were the families of Alexis Rhodes and Judai Yuki. They were all gathered around Pegasus' massive theater-style TV watching the start of the school duel. And once again, Moneybags decided to have this whole thing be broadcasted all over the world. Joey said, annoyed that he was here again with Sito. "Shut up, dweeb, and be grateful that you're even here at all. I would have left you behind if it wasn't for your sister being by my godson's fiancé," Sito said, not even bothering to look in Joey's direction. Serenity, and sensing the hostility, pulled a frying pan from nowhere and smacked Joey. "Be nice and I-san, or do I have to reintroduce you to the discipliner again?" she said in a too sweet tone, coupled with a smile which hid her true mood, just as if it couldn't get any worse. An evil aura seeped from her, and then a Hanya mask appeared behind her. Having the right effect, Joey hid behind Mai in fear. "And no, Ne-sama, I'll be good," he whimpered in fear. "Good," she said as the frying pan vanished, not realizing that all the men in the vicinity too were affected by her aura, some more than others. But the girls were wonder if they too could learn this technique, and the men feared for having to deal with. And seriously, where did she get that, and where did it go? "Dear Cammy above, that was horrifying," Tristan said, almost too scared to move. "Blimey, this is why Mother said that women were considered to be the scariest beings on the planet," Bakura said as his skin tone almost matched his hair. Clearing his throat, Pegasus drew their attention. "If we're done, we can get back to the show," he said as everyone turned to the TV. Then they saw the kissing scene. Everyone was shocked that all three girls had kissed the blonde on the lips. Serenity and Aizashu giggled at seeing their man being kissed, but they knew full well that coming family day, they will drag their boyfriend/fiancé to this dorm room, lock the door, have him place silencing seals, and yes, Serenity knows of his past, and go at it like rabbits in heat. But he and they didn't need to know that. "Wow, talk about staking your claim," I said as she blushed at how upfront those three were with their relationship with their man. Sigh. "Judy-chan was always the wild child, just like her mother," Irika said as his wife gushed. "Ah, you know you love it," Anko said as she hugged her husband. As this was going on, James remembered a time when his wife was the same as his daughter, and in a way it made him happy that his wife lived on through their daughter and was happy that their daughter had found someone to help her when she needed it, and most importantly was grateful that Naruto was investigation on what had happened to his son, her brother. He thanked Sito many times for looking into the disappearance of Atticus Rhodes, and Sito being the person that he was told him that it was part of several things he had Naruto investigate during his time at Duel Academy, but deep down he too wanted to know what had happened to those missing kids. "WWL, they certainly didn't waste time," Yugi said as he watched his godbrother being mouth-fapped by three girls. "Yeah, no kidding, lucky punk," Tristan muttered. "What was that?" Aizashu asked as she too had a similar reaction as Serenity. "Nothing," he quickly answered, not wanting to see the dreaded Hanya mask. The other men too were frightened because now there were two of them. Kaiba was more interested in seeing his godson was going to use his new dual disc. "Well, it would seem that my godson is going to be taking the new dual disc for a spin," he said, getting everyone's attention. They all looked at the screen and took notice of the new dual disc on Naruto's left forearm. "Whistle, wow, now that is an impressive design," Merrick commented. "I know, and if it works out, I'll be mass-producing them," Sito said. "And the rich just keep getting richer," muttered Joey, which fortunately for him went unnoticed. "Well, enough about that. Let's just focus on the match, and from what I see Naruto will be dueling against the youngest sibling of the Princeton family, Chaz Princeton Maximilian said. Princeton. I seriously hate those guys, Sito growled. I couldn't agree with you more, Kaibaboy Pegasus said, agreeing with Sito full-hearted. Duel Academy? After getting over his daze, Naruto rushed over to his side of the dueling ring. All the while, Chaz was being pampered by those of North Academy. Damn, it's kind of hard to feel sorry for the guy when he acts like a spoiled bitch. It's too bad that he's going to be the victim to my original deck. Sorry, Six Samurais, but you're going to be taking a back seat and watch as I unleash the full might of the Blue Eyes, Naruto thought as he reached for the deck box with his Blue Eyes deck. The deck box recognized his prince and opened up, revealing the deck. He took the deck from the box and started shuffling. Attention, students! Welcome to the school duel, Shepard announced. And now, Foster added, let this year's competition finally begin, they both said. Dr. Growler, introduce the duelists, he ordered. With pleasure, Chancellor Shepard. After all, these are two duelists that I personally know. And personally, I just adore them, Growler announced, making Naruto scoff, but let it go. The images of the two duelists were shown all over the world. Now first, from Duel Academy. Introducing the famed son of Maximilian J. Pegasus and godson of Sito Kaiba himself. Naruto Crawford Pegasus, he announced, causing everyone from Duel Academy to cheer, and those who know the boy cheered as well. Go Naruto-kun, cheered his girlfriends. Go Naruto! You can do it! Cyrus yelled. And his opponent, before Growler could introduce Naruto's opponent, Chaz cut him off. Get off the stage, he demanded. Oh! Growler scoffed at the utter disrespect he received from the former Obelisk Blue. I'll introduce myself, you scrub, Chaz said as he made his way to the dueling arena. I beg your pardon. Scrubs don't have Ph.D.S. in dueling. Although not tying might have been a better, Major Growler yelled as the microphone cord wrapped around his legs, thus causing him to trip and fall, but was saved by a beautiful woman with long white hair with several braided and blue eye. The woman was also wearing a beige dress with several pieces of white and blue jewelry. Everyone turned to see Naruto holding the monster's card, and his eyes were glowing a bright purple. The card he was holding was Maiden with Eyes of Blue, Light Attribute, LVL1, Spellcaster Tuner Effect. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, change the battle position of this card, then you can special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use one Maiden with Eyes of Blue effect once per turn, and only once that turn. ATK/0DF/0. Thank you, Kazara, you're dismissed, he said as the female spellcaster nodded after putting the professor down and fading in a pixelated lights. This action alone shocked everyone sane, those who already knew of Naruto's abilities, including those who were watching the duel on TV. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I am a psychic duelist, but unlike those in that academy, I have complete control over my powers, so you all having nothing to worry about. And also, Sayer, if you're watching this, if you ever threaten my family or my friends ever again, I will unleash the god cards onto you and watch as they obliterate you until you're nothing but a forgotten memory, he said as his aura seeped from every pore of his body, giving true to his threat to the Chancellor of the Psychic Academy in Neodomino City. Neodomino City, Psychic Academy. Sayer was watching the school duel and clearly heard the threat, and for the first time in his life, the man was trembling in fear. Because anyone with Naruto's level of both power and control could in fact call forth the three god monsters and stick them on him was truly someone to both respect and fear. And right now Sayer felt true fear. Duel Academy. Naruto took a deep breath and retracted his power. He then faced his opponent, who got over what had just happened. Well, if you're done, just be quiet. It's Chaz Princeton's turn now. But then I don't really need an introduction, though I wish I was dueling that girlfriend of yours. But I guess crushing her little boy toy should just as satisfying, Chaz said. And besides, everybody here knows who I am, or do you? Chaz asked. See, Chaz Princeton has changed. Sure, I used to be a classmate of yours. But when I left here, I left my old self, as well. Now you're looking at the new and improved Chaz. The North Academy Chaz, he announced. Thunder San. The North Academy students chanted. That's right. Say it again, he demanded from his fellow North Academy students. Thunder San. Thunder San. Again the North Academy students chanted. Meanwhile with the Dual Academy crew. Wow. It's almost like they really. Like Chaz Syra stated. With the North Academy students. No mercy, Chaz. They yelled. Got that right. Chaz yelled as the North Academy students cheered. Alright, go time. Let's see what you got, Fishcake, he said as he turned to Naruto. Naruto growled at the nickname. Oh, I'm going to enjoy crushing you, Naruto said as his new dual disc opened up as he placed the headset on. And, again, Yugi's dual disc from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions with Kaiba's color scheme. No, the pleasure's going to be mine, because you're going down, Chaz said. Duel! They yelled. Naruto, 4,000. Chaz, 4,000. As the crowd cheered, North Academy demanded first blood to go to them. Ask and you shall receive, he said as he drew from his deck. For my first move, I'm going to summon a monster with some bite. Rise Masked Dragon, Fire Attribute, LVL3, Dragon / Effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Dragon-type monster with 1500 or less ATK from your deck. ATK 1400 / Def 1100. In defense mode, he said, summoning a dragon with a mask. This got those from North Academy to cheer. That will do for now, Chaz said. Not once you see what I've got for you, and by the way, the deck that I'm using isn't my 6 Samurai deck, he admitted. This caused everyone sane those who knew to look at Naruto in surprise. What do you mean? Chaz asked. Oh, just that I received my original deck from my father before the exhibition match with the Paradox Brothers, and I have to say the upgrades were indeed worth the wait, he said in a tone that sent chills down everyone's spine. Dual Academy Group. Oh boy, do I feel sorry for Chaz now, Judai said, remembering what deck Naruto was referring to. What are you talking about? Isn't the 6 Samurai deck his original deck? Zane asked, confused as to what Judai was talking about. No, Zane, the 6 Samurai deck was his substitute deck, Alexis said, getting Zane's attention. Substitute deck? He asked. Meaning that the deck he's been using this whole wasn't his main deck, but a second deck until this real deck was ready. Basically, Pegasus took Naruto's original deck and gave it some serious upgrades, and from what I saw, it was terrifying, Judai said. Judai never survived his first turn. She was completely annihilated, Cyrus said, remembering the feeling of helplessness he sensed from Judai when she went up against that deck. Zane was stunned from what he was hearing. What could Naruto be using that it scared everyone? The power from that original deck of his must be something to respected and feared. Duel Arena. My turn. Draw, he said as he drew from his deck. First I activate the spell card trade-in, normal spell, discard one level 8 monster, draw 2 cards, and discard this card to draw 2 cards, Naruto said as he placed the monster into the deck box / graveyard and drew for 2. Then I activate Cards of Consonance, normal spell, discard one Dragon-type tuner monster with 1000 or less ATK, draw 2 cards, and send the tuner monster the White Stone of Legend, Light Attribute, LVL1, Dragon Tuner Effect. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. ATK /300 DF /250, to the graveyard and draw 2 cards, he said as he sent the mentioned card to the graveyard and drew 2 cards. Now I activate White Stone of Legend's special ability. You see, Chaz, whenever White Stone of Legend is sent to the graveyard, I get to add a certain monster from my deck and add it to my hand, he said as he searched his deck and found what he was looking for. Oh, and what did that loser card help you find? Chaz mocked. Oh, just this, he said as he revealed the card in question, and what he revealed shocked everyone sane those who knew. It can't be, that's the Blue Eyes White Dragon, he yelled in shock. But how could he have that card? Jagger demanded. My godfather was the inspiration to this deck, and with the upgrades added to this deck, I think I can give him a run for his money. But I haven't dueled him yet, and I haven't fully mastered this deck. But I digress. But since I revealed a Blue Eyes White Dragon, I can special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, Attribute Light, LVL8. Dragon/effect. Cannot be normal summon/set. Must first be special summoned, from your hand, by revealing Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. This card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. ATK 3000/Def 2500. In attack mode, he said as an unusual looking blue eyes appeared. But how? Asked Chaz. You see, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon can be special summoned so long as I reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon from my hand. Also, it has a special ability for you see, Chaz, once per turn I can target one of my opponent's monsters and destroy it. So go Blue Eyes A White Dragon, destroy his masked dragon. He ordered his dragon. The dragon then shot a beam of white energy at masked dragon, destroying it. Oh well, because masked dragon was destroyed by monster effect and not by battle, its effect doesn't go off, but luckily for you my dragon cannot attack the turn it uses its effect. However, I can still summon, so I summon Manju of the 10,000 Hands, Light Attribute, LVL4, Fairy/effect. When this card is normal summoned or flip summoned, you can select one ritual monster card or one ritual spell card from your deck and add it to your hand. ATK 1400/Def 1000, Naruto said as he summoned his monster. Now I active Manju's ability and search for either a ritual monster or a ritual spell card, he said as he searched for what he was looking for. Now I activate the ritual spell card, Advanced Ritual Art, ritual spell card. This card can be used to ritual summon any one ritual monster. You must also send normal monsters from your deck to the graveyard whose total levels equal the level of that ritual monster, and send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from my deck to the graveyard in order to ritual summon Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, Dark Attribute, LVL8, Dragon/ritual/effect. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. Must be ritual summoned, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict double piercing battle damage to your opponent. ATK 4000/Def 0, he said as a wall of blue fire erupted from the ground and out of the flames came Naruto's non-extra deck boss monster, who then let out a mighty roar which shook the very walls of Duel Academy. Duel Academy Group. Judai and Alexis, having seen that monster before, did well to try and hide their shock, but to no avail. He had to bring out that monster of all things, Judai said. No kidding, and the sheer power that thing gives off, it's no surprise it could rival the Egyptian god cards if given the chance, Alexis added. Wait. You've seen that monster before? Zane asked the question that everyone in the group was too scared to ask. Hi. Naruto used that monster in his duel against Merrick during our stay at Pegasus Castle in Duelist Kingdom, Judai said as she remembered the duel. Wait. Merrick, as in Merrick Ishtar from the Battle City tournament? Cyrus asked. Yup, hell, we even met Sito Kaiba, Joey Wheeler, my Valentine, Odeon Ishtar, Ishizu Ishtar, Bakura, and the king of games himself, Yugi Moto, she added. No fair. Lucky you, Cyrus whined as Alexis and Judai giggled. Me and Alexis also got some of our Battle City pictures signed by the famed Battle City finalists, Judai added. No fair. Her group's sane, Alexis whined. Hey, I hate to interrupt, but Naruto is about to deliver the finishing blow, Zane said, getting everyone's attention to the dueling arena only to see that Zane was true to his word. Duelist Kingdom. The audience watching the match was excited to see Naruto bring out the deck's non-extra deck boss monster, though Merrick was a bit nervous. Oh man, seeing that thing brings back some really bad flashbacks, Merrick said, wanting to never again be in that thing's line of sight. Don't worry, brother, Naruto-san won't bring that monster against you, so long as you don't challenge him, Ishizu said, comforting her brother who Sid had nightmares of that behemoth, and Naruto laughing in a similar manner to Kaiba. Wow, Naruto really scared you straight, didn't he? Joey asked. Master Merrick has developed a phobia for dragons with blue eyes, I'm afraid, Odian answered. So that mean dueling Naruto or Kaiba is forever out of the question, huh, Merrick? Yugi asked as Merrick nodded. I know how you feel, buddy, Joey thought as he remembered the times he was staring at blue eyes in the face and taking a neutron blast all the while Kaiba was laughing. Well, that duel was quick. Sometimes I wish he would draw out the duel, but since this is a way to humiliate the Princeton organization, I don't see any harm, Sito said, a bit disappointed that his godson was ending the duel on his first turn. But at the same time proud that his ruthlessness rubbed off onto Naruto, and is now staring down his soon-to-be victim to his dragon's awesome power. Only someone like you would say that, Big Bro, Makuba said, not looking away from the TV. Duel arena. Chaz was in serious trouble. The monster his opponent had summoned had enough attack points to end this duel in one shoot, and to make it even worse was that it was his first turn. Naruto was going for a first-turn kill, FTK, and had nothing to stop it. Hey Chaz, no hard feelings, but I'm ending this now. Go Blue Eyes Kaith's Max Dragon, end this duel now. Chaotic Maximum Burst Stream. Naruto ordered his dragon. Photons shot from the dragon's wings and body, but the real danger was the blue vapor coming from the dragon's mouth. Chaz is about to lose. Cut the transmission. Cut it now, the director ordered. We can't, sir. The cameras are being controlled remotely. We can't shut them off, one of the cameramen yelled. Then the dragon launched its head forward and opened its mouth, releasing a concentrated blue beam. Straight to its intended target, Chaz Princeton. Chaz yelled as the beam hit and launched Chaz off the dueling arena and onto the floor below. 4,000 minus 4,000 is equal to 0. Naruto, 4,000, winner, FTK. Chaz 0. And that is game, Naruto said as his dragon let out a triumphant roar before fading away. The crowd from Duel Academy cheered for the blonde RA Yellow for his one-sided victory against his North Academy opponent. As Chaz was getting up, he was surrounded by his brothers. You loser. You dog, they said. You've disgraced yourself. You've disgraced the Princeton name, Slade yelled, berating his brother. You are no brother of ours anymore, Jagger added. Just give me another chance, Chaz begged. Another chance? Do you know how much we spent on this duel? Jagger questioned. The cameras. The rare cards. None of which you used, I might add. But all of that was pointless since he destroyed you on his first turn, Slade yelled. Sorry. I thought I could win this by myself, he said as Jagger grabbed him by the collar of his coat and pulled him up to his eye level. Yourself? Jagger demanded. When could you do anything by yourself, Chaz? Slade demanded. Let him go, Naruto demanded as he walked over to them, angered to see how these two treated their brother. The two older brothers looked to Naruto, who had Cyrus, Bastion, Chumli, Alexis, Judai, Blair, and Zane backing him. Yeah, sure, he lost, but how could he not with you two bastards breathing down his neck? Naruto asked. Bastards? Do you know who we are? We don't care if you're the son of that loser Pegasus or the godson of that fool Seto Kaiba, we could have you crushed, Punk Jagger said. Oh. I wouldn't be too sure about that. See, when that fool Seto Kaiba, as you put it, rigged the cameras to broadcast this duel worldwide, he also took control over the feed and made sure that the cameras didn't turn off unless he sends the off command. And by the way, everything you've said and done up until now has been broadcast all over the world, he said with a smirk on his face as he saw the shocked looks of both Jagger and Slade, who looked to the cameras. Say cheese, losers, and congrats on digging your own graves, Naruto said as he pulled up a virtual screen from his dual disc showing the Princeton brothers looking directly at the camera. Furious at the blonde, but knew they couldn't do anything to him or risk tarnishing their reputation, Jagger dropped Chaz and left with Slade. It was a good duel, Chaz, and although it ended quickly, you've held your ground with your head held high like a true duelist, Naruto said as he respected Chaz for using his own cards instead of what those fools him to use, although he never got to see what Chaz used. Naruto could tell that the cards in his deck were his own and not what his brothers wanted him to use. You're just saying that, huh? Chaz asked. I mean, come on, nobody else believes that, Chaz said, already doubting those around him. Thunder San. The students of North Academy chanted. Thunder San. This time the Student Dual Academy joined in. Cliff, evening. Slade and Jagger left Dual Academy hoping to save their reputation. Along with them was the camera crew that they hired after Sito gave the off command to the cameras, thus shutting them off. As they left via helicopter, Chaz looked down from the cliff. Guess now there's just one last matter to settle, Chaz thought to himself. Doc's evening. Everyone from both academies were present, mostly to see North Academy off. Well, douchebag, I guess this is goodbye and never come back, Judai said in a huff, remembering all the time he insulted her when she was a slifer red. Judai-chan, be nice, Naruto scolded. Anyways, see you around, I guess, Naruto said, not really caring for the guy since he had very few interactions with the guy. Naruto-san, I'm not going back, Chaz said, shocking everyone, mostly those from North Academy. Look, guys. I don't belong with you, Chaz said. Then where do you belong? Zar asked. Right here. Dual Academy was always my home, Chaz admitted. But you're our best duelist, Chaz, Zar said, trying to reason with Chaz to come back with them. You sure? Zar asked. I am. If Chancellor Shepard will have me back, that is, Chaz said, turning to Naruto and his group. Well, Chaz, you were one of the best students we had. How could I say no? Shepard said, giving the confirmation that Chaz was allowed to return to Dual Academy. Guess I'll be going, Foster said as he went to take back the cards he gave to Chaz, but was interrupted when Dr. Growler's voice was heard via microphone. Everyone turned to see a stage with Dr. Growler standing in the middle. May I have your attention, please? He said. And now, to present the prize in this year's match between North Academy and our esteemed university, I give you the most beautiful woman on the island, Growler said, but Naruto looked to his girlfriends as he saw them as the most beautiful women on his island, but then again that was his biased opinion. Miss Dual Academy! He yelled, getting everyone's attention. Whoa, sounds hot, said an excited Cyrus. Be my wingman, K? Chumley asked. Naruto looked at his friends and chuckled as his girlfriends clung onto him, hoping to deter this so-called Miss Dual Academy away from their man. And here she is, Growler said, revealing Ms. Dorothy in an orange sleeveless dress and wearing red lipstick. She winked at the crowd, causing all the men to face fall. Dorothy's Miss Dual Academy? Cyrus and Chumley yelled, causing Naruto to laugh at seeing their reaction with his girlfriends following his example. Will the winning Chancellor approach the stage? Growler asked. Chancellor Shepard was seen walking onto the stage and approached Ms. Dorothy. He got down to her level, and she kissed him on the cheek. A kiss? That's the prize you two were talking about? Judai asked. If the kiss was from someone you love, then I can see it being a grand prize, Naruto said as he looked to his girls and kissed each of them on the lips. They blushed at this and made plans to get Naruto back. While in the background, Foster was crying for not receiving a kiss from Dorothy, but then again there is always next time. I can't bear to watch. Wait for me. I'll be back next year, my lady, cried Foster as he ran to his submarine. That's a chick? Asked a very confused Chaz. 15 minutes later. After all was said and done, the North Academy submarine was pushed off and started making its way back. Both North and Dual Academy were saying their goodbyes. Bye, Chaz. The students of North Academy yelled. Don't worry, Foster. I'll take good care of her for you, yelled Shepard, much to the dismay of Chancellor Foster. We'll miss you, Chaz, das Vidania, yelled Zar as the rest of North Academy cried of having to say goodbye to not only their best duelist, but a good friend. Thubder San. The North Academy students chanted. See you next year, yelled Aoshima. Dual Academy docks. As the group watched the North Academy submarine leave, Shepard spoke. There is one thing, Chaz, he said, getting the group's attention. What's that? He asked. Banner. Since you dropped out of Dual Academy, and are coming back, you're technically a new student, and therefore must start from the bottom at Slifer Red, Professor Banner stated. Slifer? Asked a shocked Chaz. Yes. Welcome. We'll get you fitted for a blazer as soon as we get back to the dorm. Then, we'll find you a roommate, Banner said. Roommate? Again Chaz asked. Professor Banner, if I might make a suggestion, the room me and Judai had when we were with Slifer Red should still be vacant, so give him that room until new students arrive, Naruto suggested. Well, I don't see why not, Banner said as Chaz liked the idea very much. Good, because Chaz Princeton room's alone, said student pointed out. You guys got that? He asked. Alone, huh? Do cockroaches count? Cyrus asked. This, once again, made Naruto question his godfather's mindset when making Slifer Red the quintessential bottom bitch. What? Chaz asked. Relax, Chaz. I'll call my godfather and see if he can up the living conditions to Slifer Red. I mean, the only reason why Slifer Red is at the bottom is because he figured this was a way to get back at my god brother, since it was his first Egyptian god card, Naruto pointed out. That would be appreciated if you can, but knowing Kaiba, I'm not holding my breath, Shepard said, knowing that the Kaiba won't even bother to fix it. I'm sure he will, especially since I know a secret that he's been trying to get out of me for years. So in exchange for said secret I can have him fix up the Slifer Red dorm, Naruto said, shocking everyone. Wait, you're going to blackmail Sito Kaiba? Do you have a death wish? Alexis asked. Hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, Naruto said. Wow. Judai, Alexis, Blair, your boyfriend has some serious brass balls to even say that, Chaz said, not believing that this blonde kid was really going to blackmail Kaiba. Sigh. I just hope he knows what he's doing, Judai said, almost wishing to just knock Naruto out and drag him back to their dorm, with the others having a similar idea. Some time has passed since the school duel, with Naruto claiming victory for Duel Academy with his FTK against former North Academy student Chaz Princeton, who was currently shacking it up with the Slifer Reds, much to his dismay. Naruto had called his godfather to renovate the Slifer Red dorm to at least decent livable conditions. Of course, Kaiba rejected the idea, but when Naruto told him that he knew the secret to defeating paperwork, Sito caved. He promised Naruto anything for the secret. You see, even though Sito is a calm and collective person, he still hated paperwork with a burning passion. Flashback. Naruto was currently sitting in his dorm room on his laptop with his godfather Sito Kaiba, talking about renovating the Slifer Red dorm. The answer is no, said Sito. Why not, Sito? The Slifer Red dorm looks like a ragged tool shed with the same structural integrity. I'm surprised it's still standing, Naruto said, trying to convince his godfather to renovate the Slifer dorm. It's not my problem, nor do I care, Sito said as he was about to hang up. Naruto then sighed, because now he was left with one option. What if I can give you the means to do your work at less the time, he said, getting Kaiba's attention. Oh, and what would that be? Sito asked. But promise me you won't tell anyone. So far only Maximilian Toussaint knows of this, he said as he closed his eyes and revealed his 10 golden tails and his third eye, Rinne Sharingan. When his eyes opened, they were blue pupils, and his eyelids, which contain a white, floral pattern, Tensigan. All in all, Sito was shocked. Sito, what you're seeing before you is my true form, but we'll talk about it later. But I'm giving you the power from my world. The power of chakra, and with the answer to beating paperwork, he said as he opened a rift within space-time and appeared in Sito's office. Amina Minaka, heavenly governing inside. But how? That was a special ability granted to me by my third eye. It's a Kekkei Mora, bloodline encompassing, but as I said earlier, we can talk about it later, Naruto said as he stepped through the rift and placed his hand over Sito's forehead and another hand on his stomach over his navel. I must warn you, this is going to hurt, because I have to create a Kirakuki chakra pathway / meridian system, and give you the knowledge of how to utilize it properly, and the ability to do your work in record time, Naruto said as his hands and eyes started to glow. For 15 minutes, Sito had endured the most painful experience of his life. When it was over, Naruto was surprised that Sito hadn't screamed in pain or had passed out from said pain. This showed that Sito was willing to endure any pain to prove that he was the best, but still it felt like some took an 4 and filled it with battery acid and had said acid travel through his bloodstream. What did you do? Sito asked weakly. Koifa-san. I gave you the gift from my world. The gift of chakra, Naruto said as his extra features retracted back into his body. Chakra? Sito asked. Instead of talking, a second Naruto appeared from behind Naruto and approached the desk and picked up one of the papers. This shocked Sito, because he thought that the second Naruto was a hologram, but holograms were just codes given form, so a program couldn't interact with the physical plane. What you see before you is a Kage Bunshin, shadow clone, and with it the answer to defeating paperwork. Hee. I'm actually surprised the Kages from my world hadn't figured this out yet, he said, causing many people in Naruto's original world to shiver as if the answer to their paperwork was just revealed, but none of them were there to see it. Oh well, sucks to be them. So you're saying these Kages hadn't figured the answer to the bane of every leader's existence? Sito asked as he did the oh-so-familiar hand signs. When he did, 2 clones of Sito Kaiba poofed into existence, and almost immediately got to work on signing his paperwork. Apparently Naruto had also given Sito the means to use Kage Bunshin and the knowledge of the pros and cons of the technique as to not kill him from the strain the technique causes on his new chakra reserves and the mental backlash he would receive once the clones dispel. So, Sito, since I gave you something that even Maximilian Toussaint doesn't have, Naruto said. Sigh, very well, I'll agree to the renovations of the Slifer Red Dorm. After all, with this I can get caught up with the various projects that were missed during my absences, Sito said as he got on the phone and made some calls to his construction unit on the renovations of the Slifer Red Dorm on Duel Academy. All the while Naruto had left his koifu to enjoy his newly found freedom from paperwork. Flashback over. When Naruto brought up the infestations of roaches and rats, and that a few of the students discovered black mold in their rooms, Sito sent out a crew to renovate the dorm. The renovations took about a week to complete, and now the dorm looked more like a decent apartment complex than a ragged tool shed that even the slightest breeze could knock the whole thing down. The Slifer Reds and Professor Banner were happy with the new look of the dorm and thanked both Sito and Naruto for improving their living conditions. Our yellow dorm / Naruto's and Judai's room, evening. It was night time and all the students were currently asleep. We find our favorite blonde currently sleeping in his king-size bed, with Judai occupying his left side and Alexis occupying his right side, and a surprise guest in the form of Blair sleeping on his stomach. All in all, the 4 were sleeping peaceful, but unknown to them, the dual spirits were anything but sleeping. Naruto's 2 decks along with Judai, Alexis and Blair's decks, the dual monster spirits from each deck were having a discussion. All of the monsters had been sensing something for a while, but weren't sure what it was. So, here they were in the realm of the 6 samurai in Shurin's Castle of Mist. The 3 Egyptian god monsters stood in the center of the discussion, whereas the legendary 6 samurai sat in the round table circling the gods as they were the vassals to their master, and to prove what they claim is true, their eyes were a metallic purple with rings surrounding a single pupil. For they were the Naruto's 6 paths. Shurin is Naruto's Deva path, Kageki is Naruto's Azura path, Mizuho is Naruto's human path, Enishi is Naruto's Petra path, Shurnai is Naruto's Naraka path, and finally Kazan is Naruto's animal path. From each deck came several monsters, but only the main boss monster and their seconds arrived. From Naruto's Blue Eyes White Dragon deck came the maiden with eyes of blue, along with her was Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. From Alexis's deck came Cyber Blader, and her fusion material monster Atoll Cyber, and Blade Skater. From Judai's deck Hero Flame Wingman, Hero Thunder Giant, Hero Tempest and Winged Kuriboh showed up. Lastly, from Blair's deck the Maiden in Love appeared. The monsters sized each other up, but knew full well as to not do something that'll bring the ire of the god monsters. As if sensing the tension, R.A. spoke, we're here today to discuss a few things here, one of which is that sense of dread we've been sensing for quite some time, she said, getting the attention of all the monsters. I have to agree with R.A.-sama. I sense that something is coming and we should prepare for whatever it is, Blade Skater agreed. I too agree, but how should we prepare? We're limited by our ability to communicate with our partners, and the only ones who can understand us are Naruto and Judai, and she's just now learning of her capabilities to understand dual spirits, Maiden pointed out. I know that she's been having sessions with Naruto Dano, but like Naruto, Judai-sama is a kinetic learner, and whatever Naruto has taught her may or may not have sunk in, but she is determined to catch up to Naruto. Dano Tempest said. That may be true, Tempest, but Judai-san still has much to learn of what her true potential is, and from what me and my fellow gods could sense, her latent potential once unlocked may make her Naruto's equal in terms of raw power, Are said, getting a nod from Slifer and Obelisk. Are-sama, although this topic is of great interest, I believe we still have something else to discuss. Shirin voiced, getting the other monster's attention. Yes, my apologize, Shirin-san, Are said. Most of monsters, mostly those from Naruto's and Judai's deck, knew of how humble the gods were, so seeing Are apologize to a lesser monster shocked the monsters from Alexis's and Blair's deck, but chose not to voice their opinion. No apologizes are needed, Are-sama. What I wanted to address was that Maximilian Pegasus called Naruto earlier today and has requested the 6 samurais to be sent to him, and Master Naruto agreed, seeing as his father told him of wanting to make the 6 samurai even stronger than before. So Kizara, I'm entrusting Naruto's safety to you and the Blue Eyes, the 6 samurai boss monster said, shocking the other monsters, saying the god monsters as they were present to the conversation Naruto had with his father via dual spirit. Kizara got over her shock and bowed to Shirin. Hi Shirin Dano. Me and the others are honored to take on the task in protecting Master Naruto, said Kizara while sending a sideways glance to Mizuho as if saying, I get to have more time with Master, getting a light growl from the red-armored swordswoman. Slifer dorm, night. Meanwhile, in the newly renovated Slifer dorm, Cyrus woke up to use the restroom toilet. Huh. This isn't. Cyrus in a daze walked to a door and opened it. Upon opening the door, Cyrus was temporarily blinded by a light, but regained his vision to see Professor Banner sitting in front of a monitor screen. I believe it is time we gave it a try, a mysterious voice said, coming through the screen. However, if they end up buried in the graves, his outstanding talent will regrettably. Banner said as he stared into the monitor, unaware that Cyrus was eavesdropping. Graves? Cyrus muttered to himself. It would mean he only had that much power at the time. We will just have to put them to sleep deep in their graves, the voice coming from the monitor said. Cyrus, not wanting to hear any more, quietly closed the door and ran back to his dorm room. Put them to sleep in their graves? Just what could he mean? Cyrus thought to himself as he ran back to his room, not knowing that he was being watched by the dorm's mascot. Morning. The next day, Naruto had just shipped his prized 6 samurai deck to his father to receive the new cards, and from what his father told him, adding new synchro monsters he has created. Right now he and his girlfriends and friends were attending class. While Naruto and his harem were attending class, Cyrus was trembling as if he had a terrible nightmare, and Chumley was pretending to pay attention while he was munching at a grilled cheese sandwich he made for breakfast, but never got the chance to eat it. And to that end, alchemy in the Middle Ages was used to make gold by mixing chemicals, like so, Professor Banner said as he taught his class. The professor then poured from a vial into a flask and mixed the 2 liquids together. But the flask glowed an orange color right before it exploded, getting everyone's attention. Oh no, Professor Banner! Judai and Naruto yelled, concerned for the nutty professor of their former dorm. When the smoke cleared, Professor Banner was fine minus the minor burns on his clothing, but it doesn't mean they could use it, he said before collapsing on the floor due to the failed experiment just as the bell rang, signaling the end of class. Naruto then stood up and stretched. Oh man, that was interesting. So how's hungry? He asked. Naruto Niki, Professor Banner just blew himself up and all you can think about is food? Cyrus asked in disbelief. Hey, one thing I learned is that you don't mix 2 unstable chemicals together, unless you know you'll be fine once it blows up in your face, and besides. Banner looks okay, he said, looking at the instructor as he dusted himself off. Before Cyrus could speak, Banner spoke. Please wait a second. I want you to take this handout with you, he said as he held a stack of papers. Why? Is it homework? Judai asked. Even though she and her boyfriend were in the top 10 with their grades and dueling skills, she still hated doing homework since it cuts into her Naruto time. No, it isn't. I've planned a picnic for this Sunday to visit the dormant ruins on the island. I would like all those interested to participate, he said, getting an interested look from Naruto since this was on his list of things to investigate as per ordered by his godfather. Sunday picnic. Outside the academy, Professor Banner, along with the group consisting of Naruto, Judai, Alexis, Blair, Cyrus, and Chumley. "I'm so glad everyone came today," yelled an excited Banner. "Everyone? There are only 6 of us, you know," Alexis said, seeing only those she knew decided to show up to this picnic. "On top of that, it's like Professor Banner was able to get us here against our will," muttered Cyrus as he turned to Chumley. "Still, I'm interested in those ancient ruins. Those ruins are close to the volcano, so it's always off limits," Chumley said, getting everyone's attention, saying Naruto's as he was deep in thought. The only ones who showed up were those who attended his class. And these ruins, why does my danger sense tell me that my magnet for trouble is going to land us in some quest to stop a great evil? Sigh, this feels like home all over again, except dueling seems to be the key to stopping all this, Naruto thought to himself, but came to as Judai was calling his name. "Naruto-kun, come on, everyone is already ahead of us," Judai said. Naruto then noticed how far everyone else has gotten. He ran to catch up with his friends and girlfriends. As they walked, Cyrus spoke. "I understand that Slifer Reds are to go since Professor Banner is the headmaster for Outdorm. So why did you guys decide to join?" he asked. "Those ruins have a shady history. It's said that they even had something to do with shadow games," Alexis said, getting everyone's sane Naruto's attention since those ruins were in his list of things to look into by Seto Kaiba. "Huh. So, do they have some connection with the disappearance of your brother?" Judai asked. "Well, I don't really know," Alexis said, unsure of Judai's question. "They say that these ancient ruins are the graves of the ancients," Banner added as everyone looked at their PDAs at the pictures of the ruins. "Graves?" Cyrus mentally yelled, remembering what he witnessed last night. "Ah, man!" Cyrus whispered as he turned to Naruto, who was looking at the ruins with an intense look, but called out to him, "Naruto Niki, there's something I'm worried about," he said as he pulled Naruto away from the head of the group to the back, which got everyone's attention. But choose to not pay much attention to it, since for a while now Naruto and Cyrus formed a brother relationship. Last night, Professor Banner was saying stuff about buried in graves and putting to sleep, Cyrus whispered in a worried tone. Naruto then glanced at Banner, not wanting to believe that the nutty professor was that kind of person, but then again he remembered when Kabuto was the same, until it was discovered that he was a spy for the gay pedophile Sannin Orochimaru. So anything is possible. "Cyrus, for now just be calm about it. If it turns out that Professor Banner was playing us, then I'll be the one to take him down," he said, reassuring Cyrus that whatever Banner was planning, he'd be there to stop it one way or another. The short kid sighed in relief, knowing that his big bro believed him. "Thanks, Aniki," he said, thanking his big bro for looking out for him. About 45 minutes have passed since the group left on their expedition to the ruins. After covering much terrain and Naruto having to piggyback Blair, Alexis, and Judai, much to their pleasure and his annoyance, but rolled with since he got to cup a feel and feel their bountiful breasts on his back, since they practically pressed their assets into his back as they felt his body through his clothes. "The group has finally arrived to their destination." "We arrived," Professor Banner announced, getting everyone's attention. "This is the entrance to the ancient ruins," the professor said, pointing at the ancient man-made structures. "The ruins are kinda ruined," Judai said, making a very obvious pun. "That's why they're called ruins," Alexis berated her harem sister, while Blair and Naruto just laughed at the antics of the two. "Inside are what are said to be the more amazing ruins of ancient duel arenas and the ruins of the graves," stated the nutty professor. "I wonder why the professor is so enthusiastic?" asked Cyrus to no one, but Naruto caught wind of the question. "I don't know, Cyrus, but if my danger senses are telling me anything, it's that something big is going to happen, and I do not like it," the blonde RA student said. "Well, whatever it is, I'm too exhausted to care," Chumley said as he pulled out a grilled cheese from his backpack and started eating. In seeing this, everyone followed suit. "Before we really go and explore, let's follow old Chumley's example and eat," Judai said as she pulled off her backpack and pulled out some bento boxes, which she distributed among her harem sisters since she was carrying their lunches. Naruto pulled out some bento boxes as well and gave them to Cyrus, Chumley, and Professor Banner, who at first denied, but then Naruto pointed to Professor Banner's bag, and out from the bag appeared Pharaoh, who had food all over his mouth, meaning the cat ate whatever Professor Banner had packed. So he accepted the lunch and kept the last one for himself. As they ate, Naruto made a plate and put some of his food on said plate. When asked, he said it was to appease any restless spirits by offering them some food, which was technically true since dual spirits were spirits themselves. So the others did the same, and Naruto watched as the various dual spirits from everyone's sane banner enjoyed their offerings, though when Banner did the same, Pharaoh just ate it. As the group enjoyed their lunch, no one sane the dual spirits noticed Pharaoh digging in the dirt not too far from them and unearthed some weird-looking disc which the centerpiece started glowing in a shower of green light. Now everyone had taken notice of the green lights erupting from the ground. Pharaoh jumped into Professor Banner's arms for protection. Then the light enveloped everyone. "Oh crap. I knew this was going to happen," groaned Naruto mentally. When the light dissipated, the sun split into three, forming a triangular formation. What's going on? The sun is splitting, Alexis yelled in shock. Then the sky erupted into a multitude of colors similar to the aurora borealis. What is that? Blair asked. I've never seen a natural phenomenon like this, Chumley said. That's because this isn't natural, Naruto said, getting everyone's attention. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Judai asked. Naruto said nothing, but closed his eyes and called upon his psychic abilities, which then caused Winged Kuriboh and Blue Eyes White Dragon to come to life, shocking everyone. How? Asked everyone. If we were still in Duel Academy, that would have drained me to the point where I would be in bed for a whole day. We're probably in a nexus where our world and the spirit world meet, Naruto said as he held out his hand, petting the blue eyes on the head, causing it to purr. Wait, purr? Since when did the most power normal monster to ever exist purr? As everyone looked on in shock, Winged Kuriboh landed on Judai's shoulder. Kuriburi, the winged puff ball, chimed, getting Judai's attention. Huh? Danger? You're saying we should run away? She asked her dual spirit. As this was going on, the blue eyes then lifted its head and growled, and having its time with its master interrupted. Then the sky flashed, and the sound of thunder was heard. Everyone run! Professor Banner ordered. Let's go, Alexis said as she led the group, with Winged Kuriboh and Blue Eyes White Dragon taking the rear. Run into the ruins! Yelled the professor. As everyone else ran, Naruto and Judai stayed and looked to the sky. Naruto and Nikki, Judai and Nikki, get inside quick! Cyrus yelled. It's pretty cramped in here, Banner commented. It's going to be alright, you guys. Judai-chan and I will be fine. We have our dual spirits to help us, he said, and Judai, Winged Kuriboh and Blue Eyes White Dragon agreed with the blonde. Then the group of four ran off. Naruto-kun! Judai-chan! Alexis and Blair yelled in concern for their lover and harem sister. It's no use, Chumley said to Alexis and Blair. Both Naruto and Judai ran but were caught by a blinding white light. Several minutes later, both Naruto and Judai woke up to see their dual spirits watching over them to make sure that nothing bad happened to them. The two then noticed a pyramid before them. What's that doing here? Judai asked. Kuri Winged Kuriboh chimed. I don't know, but I feel we'll soon find out, Naruto answered as Blue Eyes gave a soft growl. The two turned around and noticed that ruins weren't as ruined as Judai put it earlier. That arch-shaped gate, Judai pointed out, is the same as the one we saw earlier, Naruto said. Before anyone could say anything, Blue Eyes turned her head and growled, getting everyone's attention. You four! This is sacred ground, and you shouldn't be here. You must leave here immediately, the woman said, but backed away as she saw the dragon step in front of Naruto in a protective manner. Naruto then placed a hand on the dragon, calming her down. It's okay, big girl, Naruto said, reassuring that nothing was going to happen to him. The dragon wanted to protest, but knew her master well, so gave a soft growl and stepped behind her master. You're not someone from Duel Academy, are you? Judai asked. Kuri, chimed the winged puff ball. Before the woman could say anything, the group was then surrounded by soldiers, all wearing familiar armor sets and spears. Gravekeepers. Should have known, Naruto groaned at the revelation. This caught everyone's attention, saying his dual spirit. You know of us? The woman asked. Of course I do. Gravekeeper's assailant. You're an archetype that focuses on protecting the graveyards from being tampered with, hence the name, the blonde said, causing the monsters to flinch as he blonde identified who they were. Then you know that this place is the sacred royal family's gravesite. Those who set foot into the gravesite without permission will be buried alive into the gravesite, the woman now known as Gravekeeper's assailant said. Then I suggest you take us to where the others are, or I'll have Kazara here reduce the tomb to rubble. Your choice, Naruto threatened as the dragon's mouth began to glow blue. The woman sighed and ordered the soldiers to stand down. Then the two of you will also be buried alive here. Come this way, she ordered. Time force. The four then stood before the chief, and he wasn't too pleased with having intruders disturb the tomb of the royal family. He and Naruto got into an argument about releasing those he'd captured into his custody, but the chief refused, so Naruto challenged him to a duel where if he wins then those the chief captured were to be released, but should he lose, then he'll take their place. At first Judai argued against it, but was stopped when Naruto kissed her and promised that he'll win. As Naruto stood on the other side of the mausoleum, he looked down at the bottom and saw his friends and loved ones wrapped up and stuffed into sarcophagus. This angered Naruto greatly, but decided to go through with this duel to save them. Naruto vs. Gravekeeper's Chief. Naruto, 4000. GK's Chief, 4000. Naruto-kun! Alexis and Blair yelled from the coffins they were in. Naruto and Nikki, please win! Yelled Cyrus. Mark my words, I'll get you out of there! Naruto vowed. Duel! Let the ritual commence! The two yelled. I'll start this duel, draw, GK's chief said as he drew his card. Old man, you're really taking ordinary duel monsters seriously? Asked Judai from the sidelines. No, Judai, this isn't just a duel, this is a shadow game, and those down below are the price, and as should we lose, Naruto said, getting a horrified look from Judai. I see, so you are aware of what'll happen should you fail. I'll summon in face-down defense mode, the GK's chief said as he finished his turn. I know what's at stake here, which is why I'm not going to lose, drawled the blonde said as he drew. I activate the Melody of Awakening Dragon, normal spell, discard one card, add 2 dragon-type monsters with 3000 or more ATK and 2500 or less def from your deck to your hand. By using this I can discard a card and add 2 dragon-type monsters with 3000 or more attack points and 2500 or less defense points, Naruto said as he discarded a card. Then searched his deck for what he was looking for. Naruto then revealed what he was searching for: a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Now then I reveal my Blue Eyes in my hand to special summon my Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, attribute Light, LVL8, Dragon/effect, cannot be normal summon/set. Must first be special summoned, from your hand, by revealing Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can only special summon Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. This card's name becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. ATK/3000 DF/2500, in attack mode, he said as he summoned his dragon. The dragon let out a roar upon being summoned, scaring the GK's chief and seeing a very powerful monster being summoned on the first turn. But how? Asked GK's chief. You see, Blue Eyes Alternative can be special summoned so long as I reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon from my hand. Also, it has a special ability for, you see, once per turn I can target one of my opponent's monsters and destroy it. So go Blue Eyes, destroy his face down, he ordered his dragon. The dragon then shot a beam of white energy at GK's chief's face down monster, revealing it to be Gravekeeper's guard and destroying it. Now you're wide open, but first I activate the spell card Polymerization, normal spell. Fusion, summon one fusion monster from the extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion material, to give rise to a new monster by using the Blue Eyes Alternative on the field and the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons in my hand, Naruto said as all 3 of his dragons combined. The power of 3 becomes 1. Take flight and rain your wrath upon my foes. Fusion, summon and Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, attribute, Light, LVL, 12, Dragon/Fusion/effect, Blue Eyes White Dragon plus Blue Eyes White Dragon plus Blue Eyes White Dragon at the end of the damage step, if this is the only face-up card you control. And this fusion summon card attacked, you can send one Blue Eyes fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again in a row. You can use this effect of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon up to twice per turn. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes monsters you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. ATK/4500DF/3800. In attack mode, he said as he fusion summoned his three-headed dragon. But wait, I'm not done yet. Now I activate Chaos Form, Ritual Spell card. This card can be used to ritual summon any Chaos or Black Luster Soldier ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field and or banish Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician from your graveyard, whose total levels exactly equal the level of the Chaos or Black Luster Soldier ritual monster you ritual summon, and banish the Blue Eyes White Dragon from my graveyard to ritual summon Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, Dark Attribute, LVL8, Dragon/Ritual/Effect. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos Form. Must be ritual summoned, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be targeted, or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict double piercing battle damage to your opponent. ATK 4000/Def0, Naruto said as a portal opened to revealing the futuristic dragon, which then gave a mighty roar. The two mighty dragons looked down at the Gravekeeper's chief, and the poor man was sweating a storm because his only means of defense was gone, and now he was completely wide open for a direct attack. You attacked my precious people. That is something I can never forgive you for. Feel my full wrath through my monsters. Go Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon and Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon attack his life points directly. Chaotic Maximum Burst Stream and Triple Ultimate Burst Stream of Annihilation. Naruto commanded his second dragon to attack. The dragons then opened their mouths and shot beams of white lightning directly at the chief. 4000 plus 4500 is equal to 8500. GK's chief, 4000 minus 8500 is equal to minus 4500. GK's chief 0. Naruto, 4000, winner, OTK/FTK. After winning the duel, Naruto was giving a broken pendant, and was told by GK's chief that he would one day meet the one with the other half. There was a blinding flash of light, and all were lying just outside the ruins. At first everyone thought it was all a dream, but Naruto then felt something hanging from his neck and looked down, and saw the broken pendant he was given by GK's assailant. He then looks over his shoulders and sees Kazara with winged Kuribo on her shoulders, nodded at him as if saying whatever is coming will be there for you. He smiled and joined the others as they left the ruins. Little did they know that this was merely the catalyst for what's to come. Chapter end. Tired of watching censored fanfics? Would you like to watch some very naughty, filled with the lemons fanfics without any censorship? I'm happy to announce that I opened Patreon page for you guys, where you could watch Naruto/Deku, 18+ stories without any censoring. Not only that, you can also see the NSFW images of characters of the fics on my Patreon, which I make by myself. So buy your preferred tier and join our community now. Link is in the description.